is have a brief discussion on same-sex marriage. I vowed that this year we were going to talk about subjects that we needed to talk about, you know, and we also, Zuna Institute received a grant, and they are collaborating with NIA on same-sex marriage. And we wanted to talk because, you know, I got married. You know, and for me, I didn't, or somebody said about time, but for me, I didn't think I would get married. You know, it just, when we allowed in California to marry, something popped in my head, and then I popped on my knee. And I proposed on a cruise. We was on one of those bay cruises, horn blowers, and she got the picture. I don't know who took the picture. But later I said, I don't remember. She said, here's the picture. Guilty as charged. But I wanted to have a discussion about same-sex marriage because someone told me, well, I support it, but I'm not going to do it. And somebody said, well, if you don't do it, you don't support it. And I don't believe that. I think people can support something if they so choose not to do it. So I wanted to bring it up to, and I wanted to see a show of hands of all the people in here that are married. Not by commitment, because we all committed in some way or another, but actually went through and got the license, and actually...
We've been in this committed relationship for 11 years, but the opportunity came up on the day that marriage was legal in Oakland. It was June 16th of last year, and, right? No, 08, I'm sorry. Yeah, so 08, and see, these dates are all confusing because it's like, when did we get together? When did we first do it, our first date, when we got married, so trying to figure out what's your anniversary, but now we got married on June 16th, 2008, so that's our anniversary date, and we were married by Barbara Lee, Congresswoman Barbara Lee, and outgoing Mayor Ronald Dellums, and I know I hate to say it, but in Oakland, and we were like the first 18 couples to get married, 16 couples, and well, I can answer for Mara. The reason she did it was because I told her to.
Okay, so I really didn't want to get married as a ceremony, but people were asking me, what's the difference? And it's just commitment. The commitment just deepened. We've been together a long time, but just the whole marriage, I just feel really connected. Like, this is serious. I'm not going anywhere. She's not going anywhere. We're going to work through whatever happens. And it's just beautiful. We don't have kids, but we are totally committed to each other forever. So I feel really good about that.
And for me, I just want to say, I want to be equal with the heterosexual marriages in this world. We are just as deserving as they are, and so we should be honored in our relationships and honored in our marriage equally. So that's why I wanted to be married. And even though it's not legal federally, it is in Oakland, San Francisco, California. So we have that, and we're working towards it being legal everywhere.
We're legal still, but we haven't gone through whatever the legal process is to get a divorce. I know what it is, but we got married because we could. We wanted to have the same rights and responsibilities that non-marriage. And even though we were domestic partners as well, that gives you the same rights and same responsibilities of marriage. But there's just something extra. And since we could, we did. And we did it before the whole thing was done legally. But, people out there, not just, I don't know if mostly African Americans, but there are people out there who are advocating and fighting to give us the same rights. And I felt like we needed to honor that and do what we needed to do. Because the domestic partnership technically is the same thing in California. I don't know what, everybody here is not here from California, but when you have domestic partnership, you have the same rights and responsibilities as a heterosexual couple in California. You guys still go through a divorce. If you're going to get a divorce, you're still responsible for that person on a financial level as well as other levels. So we just wanted to add to that because we could and because there are people who are out advocating for us to do so.
I asked her and she said yes. But we have a family, we're committed to each other. You know, marriage is different than domestic partnership. It is, it's not the same. There's a reason why people get bashful on the federal level about giving us our rights, because it is different. And there are places that we, you know, still, even with what we hold today, can't walk in and be treated equally. So I think it's important that as we move forward and things look like we're gaining and making those strides, that we keep doing those things and walking that walk, but realize that we still have a ways to go. You know, I want to be able to go to another state and make sure that everything is still okay. And in fact, I want to stay in California and make sure everything is okay, because sometimes California gets a little backwards. So, but it's just nice to know that, you know, we got married in church, and that was really important for us, because that's where we met, too. But having that spiritual connection to each other is just, you know, that's part of the reason we come to NIA. That's part of what we get in this bond, in this circle that we have here. And it was important that the rest of the world see what we were providing for each other, what we were standing up for each other, and that our bishop was there to be able to do that for us was wonderful. And it wouldn't have mattered what the laws were in the time. That was what we were choosing to do for each other and for our commitment to our family.
Do we have any other married people that want to say something? Okay. Now, everybody don't believe in marriage for whatever reason. So I'd like to get some comments from people that's in a committed relationship or in a relationship and they choose not to marry. Is anybody here in that category?
I'm not answering that question, but before you go on, I'd like to ask you, why did you choose to get married?
Why did I choose to get married? You know, I don't know. I mean, I love Wendy to death. No, I don't mean that in a negative. You know, I don't, and I know y'all gonna tell her because you told her that other thing, and I got the open relationship. Y'all just ran back and told her. You know, I mean, it wasn't even a try. I mean, she said several people told me. Okay? So, but I'm gonna tell you something. Berlina is my soulmate. That's my queen. That's my equal. She got her ways because she's a Libra. And y'all know. Y'all know. You beautiful people, but you got your ways. And you need your space. You gotta have your space. And I know how to give her space. But she's always been there. She's silent. You know, she might fuss, but she's always there to catch me and to hold me up. And I think that was important. Because neither one of us were thinking about marriage. We've been together 17 years. We got married on her birthday so that I would not forget my anniversary. Okay? You gotta work it like that. You know, because menopause is cruel and I can't remember from one minute to the next. But I remember October the 1st. Okay? But I think it was a sense of commitment, and I really didn't, I don't know why I dropped down on one knee. I really cannot tell you why I did it. But I know that when we made that, it was the most beautiful ceremony, because we went down to City Hall. We had some friends come with us as witnesses, and it felt special. It felt like, okay, this is it. We going to the end, because you like to say, you're not going anywhere, I'm not going anywhere. We're going to work this out. And it just felt like our relationship was complete. You know, so, because I've been married before, and I've been in another long-term relationship, and I swore up and down I ain't never getting married again to anybody. But when we were allowed to do it, it's just like, okay, we're going to go and do it. And it was beautiful. So I'm glad I did it. You know, I keep hearing about it, and I want to talk, you know, to people that find out what people choose, and that's your choice. Nobody's trying to make somebody, you know, validate, because you're validating your relationship by being together. Okay, so we're not talking about validation. We're talking about just the concept of marriage, because statistics show that nobody ain't getting married. We're the only ones trying to get married. Exactly. You know, straight folks don't want to get married. I'm trying to get my son to marry somebody. Marry somebody. You're 36 years old. You know, so it's just, you know, and all his buddies ain't married. Nobody's married, but we're trying to rush to get married. But I would like to know why, you know, committed couples decide not to. So are there any committed couples in here that just probably will not get married?
I am in a 21-year committed relationship. We met here at NIA back in 1989. Yeah. And we haven't gotten married because, one, she hasn't asked me. And, you know, we live in separate states. And we have done that for about 10 years. I think she's afraid because we look at the financial implications of getting married. You know, when you start tying up these finances, start tying up these retirement accounts, shit don't work out. And now all of a sudden your retirement gone. You know, so you know, I like having my shit. She like having her shit. And you know, she is my soulmate. You don't be with somebody 21 years and they're not your soulmate. But we enjoy what we have. I don't believe that I have to be married, because you know what, I was married and I didn't like it. I didn't like living in the same space, sleeping in the same bed all the time. You know, I like having my space, my friends. You got your space, your friends. I got my money, you got your money. We got our money. But, you know, so that's why I probably, you know, when she asked me, I might be a different story. But, but really, I think we both have decided that our relationship, you know, we're not going nowhere, she's not going anywhere. And even if it did, that we're happy not to have to go through that breakup thing. Because that, when you start trying to break up that type of financial relationships, it gets very ugly.
The term is cheaper to keep her. It's cheaper to keep her. Cheaper to keep her.
Okay, I'm going through a divorce right now. And it's not any fun. You have to, when you file the papers, you go and you sit up there with the heterosexuals, and they're all looking at you. I hated that part. I have learned some lessons in this, that if you do decide to marry someone, you must be evenly yoked. You must be. You need to make the same amount of money I make. So won't nobody be asking for no damn spousal support. Which I totally disagree, because if you're about yours, you're going to go out and take care of yourself. Like I did. So anyway, I can tell I'm a little upset about this. But I do believe that that's one of the things you really need to look at. Another thing you need to look at is you have a major responsibility as to who you are bringing into your family. And that means, is your mama going to like it? Is your daddy going to like it? Are you going to get along with my brother, my sister, my children, my grandchildren? You know, that's important. That is important.
Right.
Yeah, who made the decision? No, I don't really think that's important right now as to, you know, who made the decision. It was not my choice to get a divorce. But when she mentioned it, I was like, okay. So evidently it was okay with me. What's not okay is that the legal aspects of disengaging, of divorcing, it's not any fun. So I understand what you're talking about. The next time. Oh, well, I'm not getting married again. Okay. No, because I'm going to keep my shit.
Okay. I'm not going to speak for myself because I don't have these same feelings as my friend, but I will speak for my friend. And she said that the reason she doesn't want to get married is because marriage, in her opinion, is a heterosexual thing. And she did not want to engage in a heterosexual act.
I've been in a relationship for 9 years, and we asked each other, well, that if we could share each other's lives together. And I don't think sharing my life that I have to have a piece of paper that we, you know, it's something that we talked about. And we decided that as long as the power that we believe in, we stand before him and we said, we are going to be together, we are committed, and we do the work. Also, she got hers, I got mine, we have ours. And that's how we've done that. And there's no need, we don't have children, so we don't have all of those other things to have to deal with. But we just decided that marriage was not the institution for us. And we haven't rushed to do it. And we're not going to do it.
And I don't want you to do. That's what it's all about, is choice. And that's why it's interesting to me why people do what they do. Because like I tell you, I can't tell you why I did it. I know I love it to death. But, and I wasn't thinking about getting married, quote unquote. But I don't know, something happened when they said, okay, you can do it. It's like the little kid in me said, okay, I can do it.
All right now, family. Just remember, we all love each other. I'm throwing stuff in my head. Now, for real though, I'm the marrying kind. Whatever that means, though. I'm trying to do it till the wheels fall off. I ain't got time to be playing, finding no replacements and all that kind of good old stuff. If you're going to do it, do the thing. Now, with that said, oh Lord. Family. Here's the thing though, so first of all, I want to put this marriage piece in a whole historical context in terms of this hetero model that we work with, right? So we talking about some ownership, right? We talking about, because once upon a time, in order to get with the family, mama had to say okay, because what we all know, mama's baby, daddy's maybe, and we talk about controlling wealth, and we talk about empires, and we talk about keeping things in order, which, you know, traditionally we do. We being us, the feminine, right? So I'm gonna put that in context. When all this marriage business, I own you, rule of thumb, go and check the books, we ain't got a whole bunch of time. Now I'm gonna fast forward to now. I'm looking at my community. If and some when it's time to do that thing, I'm gonna call Queen to officiate. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have some drummers and some dancers in the house. We gonna have a room because the commitment is to the community and the village. Right? We doing this so that we can build and we can heal and we can be in unison. We can be on one accord. And for that, I don't need no piece of paper. And this is no disrespect, because I'm not tripping. This is just where I'm coming from. I'm sharing. Marriage for me is about that commitment. It's about that commitment. That piece of paper, right? You get married, and marriage is a legal contract in the way that we're talking about it. Because when you say I do, you go see the preacher man or the preacher woman. When you say I don't, who you go see? The judge. Watch out now. Watch out now. And that's all I'm saying, folks. That's all I'm saying. Let's just be clear about what the intention is going in. Let's just be clear about the intention going in. I love that till death do us part, but really not even, I mean, beyond that, because, you know, after that, I'll see you on the other side. That's right. So, and with that, I'm out.
Okay, my sister, and that's what makes us such beautiful people, because we do have opinions. Hey. Baby, we... Not yet. Hold on. We don't exist here in this space out of some kind of vacuum. You all didn't magically just show up in this space. There, we stand on the shoulders of Audre Lorde, the shoulders of Barbara Smith, the shoulders of the Combahee River Collective, group of women who got together in the 70s, and I'll wrap up. So those that paved the way for us to be here now. We have theory. We have our own theory. Black, feminist, lesbian theory. Homegirls, check it out. That's a book. Okay? And Cheryl Clark has an essay called Lesbianism, an Act of Resistance. And so, you know, for me, you know, in terms of trying to, we're trying to figure out, well, what does it mean to be gay, queer, you know, and, you know, and what happened to gay liberation? Because in the 70s, there were these discussions about marriage, and then there is a whole school of thought that says that, you know, we're challenging heterosexual or heteronormative types of models, and we want to create different models for ourselves. Whatever that might look like, whatever we say. What's that line in your piece, Dina? We say, it is whatever we say it is. Exactly. It is whatever we say it is. Okay? So I just wanted to share that with you, and I'm grateful to be in a space where you can hear all different sides. Because I think the other issue for me is that though I have many that I love and I do support marriage rights, I feel like the issue has taken the focus off of taking the resources, and I mean people, power, money, attention, you know, from AIDS, HIV, cancer, you know, suicides, all the stuff, you know, who's determining our agenda? Come on now. Okay, so I just want to get you to start thinking about that. What is your agenda? What is our agenda? You know, what's our priority here? And yes, we want to hold up and support those of us, you know, who want to make that choice for themselves. Okay? And we also want to support those that may want to challenge this notion. So that's what I wanted to say.
I'm going to be brief. And I don't know if some of you may or may not know Gladys Lier. She's an adopted grandmother of mine, and she's been in the community for a long, long time. And I think just watching her life, for me, it's just the matter of that being available. She was with her partner for many, many years, at least 20 or 30 years they were together. And when Greggy passed away, you know, she was like, that's my husband, and we're together, and they had a home, and most of Greggy's kids weren't close. They had moved off because of the fact that she was a lesbian, and especially because of the fact that she was a butch. It was like, oh my gosh, you know, even more transparent in the family. And the minute that Greggy passed away, the family swooped in and wanted to start taking things, and this is our house, and so on and so forth. And especially just for the elders in our community who have passed on and lost so much of their family. But when the will came, they wanted to take ownership of the family that they weren't a part of. I really just pay homage to the elders who have been together for so long who do not have the access to things like this was our home, or I'm visiting my wife in the hospital, right? So it's certain things like that that she wasn't even able to, the family that wasn't there got to see her before she did. You see what I'm saying? So for me, just in watching, now she's gone from the home to being in a nursing home because she has lost her home, right? So I just want us to really, for me, it's, I definitely feel all the different voices and perspectives, and I feel very grounded in the movement of really looking at how we can shift policies. But I feel like for me, it's in honor of her and watching her life. For me, it's really important to be able to say that is the legal choice, because there are certain privileges that come with that, especially when you have built a whole life with somebody, you know? So I think that's something to think about too. Yeah.
Any other expressions?
I just wanted to say that Joseph Campbell says if you want to see what a society looks like without its rituals, read the newspapers. I think we have lost too many of our rituals, and I think that marriage is a ritual. The coming together and making that commitment to a loving partner is a ritual. The difference, there are two things. One is, do you choose to make this a legal ritual so that you have those rights and privileges that only come with marriage, or do you want to have a spiritual, cultural ritual? So same-sex marriage doesn't necessarily have to mean it's legal, but it should mean that it is sanctioned by the community. It means that this is another one of our rituals that we are reclaiming. There are African ceremonies that are sanctioned ceremonies that happen between two women. So to just call it a heterosexual model is really not giving credit to the fact that, you may decide, let me not have a legal same-sex marriage, but you decide to have children. You decide what you're going to buy from the supermarket, where to send your children. You have all the other so-called heterosexual models, but not the legal marriage. So I think that we may be too quick to assign labels or something. This is heterosexual, this is not. But the idea of having rituals and having the community come together and say, yeah, these are our people. We're going to honor them. We're going to honor what the commitment was that they made to each other. Because getting married is a community act. It's a community act. It's not just these two people. It's the community helping to support those people. So whether or not you decide to have a same-sex marriage, decide to do the ritual of coming together and having a sanction. And decide other ways of protecting yourself legally with finances, like a living will. Protect yourself that way. So you don't have to define legal same-sex marriage as something a lawyer has to do or something that's sanctioned by the state of California if you want to. But please, reclaim the rituals that you lost.
I'm happily single, have no intention of ever marrying anybody, but for the people who want that, I would go to war that Wendy could do. I think it's just a matter of, you take anything and say they can and you can't, you're discriminating against me in some form or fashion, and there should be nothing that you can do that I can't do, and that I choose not to is my choice. But if somebody I know want to, I'm willing to go to war so she can do that. That's how I feel. It's that simple.
When I get married, all of you will be invited.